Go.
Hello and welcome back to the Jumpcast. This is episode 27 of our little series here, talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. Something that we don't typically do, but I feel like I should probably say it. And if you've listened in the past, you already know this. Spoilers for the most the most recent chapter of JJK. You should be caught up already anyway, because it's your civil duty as a person on this earth. So yeah, let's just hop right into this crazy, this absolutely insane chapter. Max, could you please start us off?
Oh, he's back, baby. What is it? Almost, 1,200 days he's been sealed in real life, and then it's not even 20 days in universe. It's like that's what I had a friend text me, and he's like, Gojo hasn't been sealed long. I'm like, yeah, it just feels like it because it's been over 3 years. But I really enjoyed this chapter. I had seen the scans and was freaking out about them on Wednesday when what's his name, Miura on Twitter always will post them. But I'll say honestly, like, one of the highlights I think of this chapter wasn't just Kenjaku and Sukuna and Gojo all interacting and Gojo himself coming back. I really enjoyed this interaction with the main cast, like right before they unsealed him. I don't know if anyone else kind of is in the same boat with me, but like the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 pages, I really enjoyed. Like, I love Takaba being Takaba, and he's like, wait, I'm gonna make some origami stuff, and kind of just them interacting. I don't know.
I enjoyed it as well. It was really refreshing to be able to see everybody again, and how they're all interacting. It's kind of like a nice, I guess, break from the tension that we've been experiencing for a while. It's also nice to see our main character. But also, I think something that's interesting that I didn't notice last time. I know you guys were talking about it, and I can never remember her name, but the doctor,
Shoko.
Yeah, I forgot that she was the one who initially saw Yuji at the very beginning of the series when he got his heart torn out by Sukuna. And I just realized that this morning when the chapter came out. I thought that was kind of funny because I started actually rewatching the anime with a few friends of mine, and they're liking it so far. So I don't know, just a little anecdote. Yeah, I think it's also funny that they initially tried to unseal him inside of just that apartment.
Yeah, it's in the middle of Jujutsu High.
Yeah, it's so goofy. But yeah, the actual unsealing part of it was something that, like, the Jacob's Ladder was fascinating. Mostly because I want to see that be used against a person, because I feel like that would be really interesting to see.
I mean, we kind of did.
We saw Sukuna tank one, but like I get what you mean of like just like
You
some
say
normal.
The man had to impersonate the man that he was hosting in order to get out of it.
He took
Right.
a pretty like the small, I'd say like maybe a few second amount he took of it. I'd say he took it pretty well. But I get what you mean, Max, of just like a grade 1 curse or sorcerer just get disintegrated.
Yeah, like
just
what happened?
Demolished.
like not
They
even
just get
disintegrated,
completely
just like wiped from this plane of existence, like gone.
Yeah.
Like it would be really cool to see what that looks like.
I'm looking at the expressions of all of them to the Jacob's Ladder, and it's so hilarious seeing Takaba look up at the camera.
This is like the third time he's
break
broken
the
the fourth
fourth
wall.
wall.
Like he's done this so. I do love Shoko wearing sunglasses, just like sitting. It looks like a director's
she is so
chair.
casual. Like, what is it? She's probably the person that knows Gojo the most out of all of them, and she is so done already. He's not even back, and she's exhausted.
She's giving off like a wine mom energy, or like I say like soccer mom energy almost.
Exactly.
But
what is it? We'll get into this more and more throughout this episode, but there's been a big thing when it comes to like translations and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
That's the bit I do want to talk about today.
I spotted something, and it's just because I saw it on TikTok in a small bit of the community. It went into like this whole side piece about how Tengen was the second rat at Jujutsu High, which I think is true. Like, of course, the first one was Mekamaru, but then the second one was Tengen, because Tengen could have stopped the Culling game at any point, but he didn't. But it goes along with, like, what is it? Somebody's pointing out the line on chapter 8, on page 8, where it says, applying Angel's curse technique to the prison realm makes Satoru Gojo disappear. And people are taking this as an actual factual statement and not talk about making a joke that they accidentally killed Gojo. People are really taking it seriously when it's literally the comedic relief of the entire series making the statement, and I just like to say that is not true. Especially after what we just saw afterwards.
Yeah.
With the explanation of like, if the barrier ever broke on the back, I sealed it with so many different things to try to stop Gojo, and
he's like, I put you in the
work.
Mariana Trench, or like not the Mariana Trench, but he's like in some giant
8,000 meters.
Yeah. Like he's meeting like, what is it, blobfish and like cursed spirits down there. Like Kenjaku tried everything. If he could probably put him at the core of the earth, he would have tried it, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah. Because Gojo is that guy. Like
he is the honored one.
Yeah, there's a reason in tier lists, and he is just calls himself the honored one. And I think we are going to get an actual explanation of, or not an explanation, but a showing of that title soon, which will be really cool to see. But I was thinking, so I somewhat of a theory that I was baking up this morning was, Gojo in universe has only been in the prison realm for 19-20 days. Okay, well, in our timeline, reading it, he's been trapped for 3 years. It'll probably be the episode title of how many days he's been trapped. But potentially, so I feel like almost every episode I make some mention of Bleach, but I feel like this one is a good one to talk about. So I know Nick hasn't. Max, you remember in Bleach, after the fake Karakura Town arc, when Ichigo's dad and him are in like the in-between world, and Ichigo trains for 3 months straight, and that's how he gets he learns what the final Getsuga Tensho is.
Yeah.
What if, I know it wasn't meant to do this, but maybe that's also what Gojo's been doing, but instead of having that 3-month period or that 19 days to train, he's had the time in real life to train. So 3 years basically.
1,000, the 1,190 days.
Yeah,
I think
something
that's
like that.
It is.
Yeah,
Let
so
me check
he's
on
had
Twitter real quick.
that long. Yeah, check the account. So that was kind of one point I wanted to talk about leading into another. What if this led to some sort of power up for Gojo even, which would be really interesting to see if it does, because we have no idea what that could mean. But
right. The thing that's most interesting to me is what he's wearing when he comes out. Like his torn up jacket, the fact that he doesn't have his eye covering anymore.
Because I don't think he was wearing his blindfold when he got sealed. If I remember.
He was. He put it up at the end of his like little quote of being in the prison realm. Is like, oh, so time doesn't move here, and then he puts up his blindfold. And
okay,
he's just like, I have faith in everyone. And then 2 of them are basically dead, and one of them is emotionally scarred
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
beyond comprehension.
Yeah. So that's like my big theory and my big talking point is maybe maybe this is Gege's way of giving a training arc without having to write a training arc. Even
Yeah,
though it's for
Yeah.
the most powerful being, the most powerful modern day sorcerer, but who knows?
probably. Honestly, it probably will be that. I mean, that's the thing is that I'm not certain if that's the case or not. We just don't know at all. Um, because as far as we know, Gojo doesn't look like he went insane. He just looks like Gojo.
Yeah.
So I would assume your guess is probably a safe bet, Max. Honestly, that
I
that
like
he's
that one a lot.
yeah. Because especially the first panel on page 16, that punch, it's just like
Man, Gojo, man,
it's so
that
funny.
that was the first panel I saw, Max, when I saw the leaks, and I'm like, oh god, like I thought it was Yuji for a second. I'm like, wait, hold up, and then I saw more.
What is it? Miyamura, when he tweets out the leaks like on Tuesday nights, I usually go to bed before I see the leaks. So what gets me up every Wednesday morning, and sadly I won't have it for the next 2 weeks, is seeing the leaks. It's like, okay, basically the new chapter's up, and I get up, and the first thing that I see when I open Twitter is Satoru Gojo has officially returned, and it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's it's set up so many things. Like, what is it? I think that we can almost all agree now, both in good and bad, the series is probably in its last year now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe in its
I
last
yeah.
2 years, just depending on the pacing of fights and everything.
Mhm.
But like
Yep.
we've hit that climax, which me and Pruden were known for saying like that's not going to happen anytime soon. That's not going to happen anytime soon. And then these two big things happened where Sukuna took over Megami and Gojo got unsealed,
Yep.
and we kept
Yeah.
on thinking it's never going to happen, and it actually happened.
Mhm.
We've hit the God. I'm studying this, and I'm probably even gonna get this wrong, but I think we're hitting the midpoint of the story where, yeah, I think that's the wrong word. Anyway, we're hitting the final climax here, where we're gonna see everything actually.
Oh, like
go
of the
down.
hero? Are you talking about like hero's journey type stuff?
Yeah, hero's journey
Okay.
type of.
So like we hit
story
the peak,
structure.
and then this is when it kind of.
Yeah,
Escalating.
this is
Like the three-fourths or I don't know how the hero's journey works. I know it's like an 8-piece.
It's I don't know. We don't have to go into it, but it's.
Come
My
on,
point
Mr.
is
Film
that
Major.
We can go into storytelling
Yeah.
stuff. I think that that's a really unique thing to take at this.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then I think that we have reached that point where we have finished the second act of the full arc of the series, and we are now like these next few chapters, well, probably for a good while. Are it's hard to say exactly where I think, or someone smarter than me probably knows, but it is that midpoint between the second and the third act, and I'm just so curious to see how this resolves. Like, what consequences are we gonna see? Is it just gonna be another story where the heroes win and nothing really changes, or are we actually going to see world-shaking events? Because we obviously have already had quite a few character deaths, the ones that were, important. R.I.P. Our Father in Christ. No, I mean, but I'm just curious. I'm curious to see what happens. I don't know what to think. What'll happen? I'm curious to see what Sukuna does. I want to know if Megami is gonna be okay. It's just a lot, man.
I'm under the impression, and I don't know if Pruden is as well, that like Megami will come back, but at a really great sacrifice of most likely Yuji.
Yeah.
Like, I could see this going either two ways. Either this is like the proper awakening for like the next honored one, which would be Yuji, or Yuji is that cog, that piece of the machine that ends the cycle of curses by
Oh, like
taking
breaking the
Sukuna down
wheel
with
kind of
them.
deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's still, I don't know if he's still in that mentality of like, I'm a cog in the system. I'm here to destroy curses. I'd rather see him be that, I don't know, that wrench in the cog that breaks it all and breaks the whole cycle of cursed spirits and cursed energy, like how Yuki was talking about it. Um, and like fulfilling both like Ghetto's beliefs and Yuki's beliefs and finding this weird like third middle ground. Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Saying
thinking
like
so far.
somewhat Yuji becomes in a sense the MacGuffin for the series.
Yeah,
Either whatever, killing Sukuna, sacrificing himself to bring back Megami. Whatever.
yeah,
Okay. I like
yeah.
that. I like that.
And I'm also excited. I know that we were talking about the end of the series, which is always the thing that you talk about at the end of a podcast, but like there's still so much to talk about with this chapter. I'm so happy that Gojo is setting up a training arc
Oh yeah.
for most likely Yuji and everyone else. I think that Gojo is gonna teach at least Yuta and a couple other people how to do barrierless domains.
Oh yeah.
I
We
think
will
that that's a
finally
really
get to
big
see
thing.
actually what Yuta's domain somewhat looks like, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that we're still definitely gonna see Yuta fight Kenjaku, which I'm so excited for.
I think it's gonna
that's
be
so
such
fun.
a good fight. I would also really like if they do this training arc and Gojo teaching people things. I would really like set in stone in words how Yuta is able to get other techniques, because there's always been he has to consume some part of that person. I'd like second to add on to that. So, I think I don't know if it would work for Inomaki because we never know how he got cursed speech, but so hear me out. For Yuji to obtain someone else's technique, of course, him or Rika has to consume part of them, but not just anything. I think maybe it'd be cool to also make it's something that corresponds with that person's technique. So, Uro, she used her hands to manipulate space and time or whatever. That's why he consumed it. I mean, it was also what he got, but that's why it looks like in the panel, Rika consumed an arm. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm laughing just because I'm imagining Yuta just smacking down with Inumaki. It's the only thing that that he would do to get that.
But this could lead, I don't know if they would do this plot-wise, but there's always been the theory that to escape the prison realm, Gojo was going to have to sacrifice one of his eyes. Okay? Maybe 6 eyes, infinite void, of course it's not going to be as strong. Maybe so Yuta has an edge on the upcoming fight, since maybe Gojo has that big of an ego. He's like, oh, I'll need 6 eyes, but I won't need it as good as it is. Could sacrifice one of his eyes to Yuta, giving him access to like infinite void or something. I don't know. I think that part of it's pretty far-fetched, but I am very excited to see Yuta fight Kenjaku and kind of see. I would really like to see if we do get this training arc it's hopefully setting up. I'd really like to see, because out of everyone in the group that is important, pushing aside Miwa, the witch girl, other people that aren't important to the plot, in my opinion, Yuji is the weakest member. He's the weakest link, and I think he needs something. So it could be figuring out. I hope figuring out what his technique is. If it is Black Flash, I think it'd be really cool. Is in a moment at the end of a chapter, they don't reveal it, but they show that they found Yuji's innate technique, and against someone in the final fight or wherever we're heading with this point with the 1v1 that's been set in stone since like chapter 1, that's when they reveal if Yuji had an innate technique.
Yeah,
I think
oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, I just think somewhat, in my opinion, like storytelling wise, I think that'd be really interesting to see, of not not telling but showing, but keeping that kind of build up and that cliffhanger, and and the mystery surrounding the mystery of surrounding Yuji till the very end, which could be kind of fun to see. And then that could also go in later on, like maybe Kenjaku reveals actually the point. I mean, he said to people, but the actual point of Yuji to Yuji, and kind of reveals parts of like his Yuji's lineage.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Sorry, I'm gonna interject with two things. And this is just like a theory also going with like Yuji's technique. The first one that I wanted to say is that Six Eyes isn't the like technique, it's limitless.
Yeah, I know, but
And that's
yeah. I just
I don't know, that's like a genetic feature. I don't know. So I don't know how far that would work. I think that people have always put it up as like limitless. Like Gojo gave Yuta limitless, but then Yuta's like, oh my god, this takes up so much of my curse energy just to keep up a field around me. Why would I do
you
this?
need Six Eyes. There's a reason why you need
Yeah,
like
it
Six
helps to
Eyes.
optimize
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing that this was like a wild theory that I had that I don't know how much that would work, but it's just like going with ass backwards training. And I think that because I talked about like Gojo trying to teach barrierless domains, because I'm sure that he figured it out for some reason, he's gonna teach Yuji his own curse technique by making him do it in reverse to learn how to do a domain expansion first, and from there on actually learn what his technique is.
Ooh.
That was just like my idea of it.
Dude, it'd be cool. If Yuji in your way gets it, just make his domain like a boxing ring or like a dojo or something.
Exactly.
Like then
Exactly.
give Yuji some sort of like martial art themed thing. Or
Yeah.
okay, I'm coming off this off the top of my head. I'm speaking out my ass. You guys know from Marvel Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Maybe this could fit with like the cog kind of mindset. But him being able to, his technique could be analyze, like fight when you're fighting someone. He doesn't have a photographic memory like Taskmaster, but somehow being able to, his technique involves taking in the information of someone you're fighting, and then, I mean, that's already kind of what they do, like the analytic side of like JJK, but like that's his technique of not being able to need to fight them forbidden. Think about it, it's just like, I can't snap right now, but like instant. Like that's it, boom, that's their technique, and instantly knows how to counter that, kind of. I don't know if like,
That would be fun.
but then like the dojo boxing ring could fit in with that, because I know that
I was thinking like he has like no matter what, he can land a black flash in that area, so like they're just stuck in there, and he's just destroying them
comboing
with
their
black
ass, just like
flashes.
boom,
Exactly.
boom. That would be pretty
Like
crazy.
not
to
given
see.
a chance.
That'd be
But
interesting.
yeah. But that's also if his curse technique is black flash, which we have no clue.
Which
I
would
don't
be
know.
Right.
really sick to see if it was just like we've talked, like Nick and I have talked about in the podcast before, just the man blessed with like, was it black sparks?
Yeah.
Is the term
It's
someone
just
used?
so cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Max,
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, that I would love to see that. Cause to me, Yuji's character is so centered around him figuring out how to fight without having a technique. And him having the great, now I'm forgetting the name of it. He hits and then it's delayed. The delayed hit.
Oh, Divergent Fist.
Divergent Fist.
Divergent Fist, thank you. Seeing that, I was always kind of like, that's cool. And it's cool that he figured out a way to utilize it effectively. But at the same time, like that boxing arena idea, that would just be so cool. It would just be so cool to see him adapt some kind of martial arts fighting style just out of the blue. Because something I noted, because I have been rewatching the anime, is that he recognizes, like in the very first time when Gojo and Megumin test him and Nobara in the apartment complex with, in the building with the like low level curse spirit that hides behind the kid. he when he's fighting, he doesn't even he even acknowledges it. Like, damn, I'm kind of a badass type of thing. Like he just does it. He's just that guy.
Where he just punches through straight concrete. I know exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Nobra, like the Nobra's
Dude,
like, what
it's-
the fuck? Like,
It's the same thing with like his fight with Higuruma. It's like even without cursed energy, like this dude is a first grade sorcerer, even without cursed energy.
Yeah.
and then
The dude's crazy.
that would lead perfectly into him becoming the next honored one. You know, he's like a first grade sorcerer without cursed energy, and then he uses it. Like, I think if he adopted, I mean, it seems like he kind of does, but Toto's like fighting style of how kind of Yuki also does it, where they don't just rely on their technique. It's kind of just like, okay, well, I can't beat them in
It's their last.
X time.
It's their last.
Yeah.
Choice.
It's like, again, I'm gonna say like Bleach. It's like how the Soul Reapers use their Bankai or their Shikai and Bankai. Like they try and fight with just their unopened Zanpakuto, and then they go from there.
Yeah.
Like, again,
It's
Max,
a lot different than
another
JJK.
like maybe down this route Yuji could kind of follow. You know, you remember Ikaku, the dude with like the spear Shikai, and how he never wanted to use his Bankai. He used it once, and then you never saw it again. Kind of that. I think it'd be cool to see Yuji get a mindset like that while fighting. He's just I don't want to use my technique, or he's like I refuse to use my domain, kind of deal.
It's possible. Yeah, that's the thing too, is that he may discover that if he uses it, he will end up hurting everyone else contained inside of it, type of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
like a bind, like a he could make again, going off kind of like his mentorships, like Nanami, he could make a binding vow that he's stronger if he doesn't rely on his technique and domain or whatever. But I like that idea, kind of like how Sukuna's just cuts everyone, but like if whatever Yuji's domain or technique does, it could just hurt anyone in the area of effect. I like that. That's a good one.
We've been talking so much about this that I feel like we even glossed over the fact that Gojo is back.
Yeah, and Gojo's back. No, just kidding.
I guess it's also just because me and Prudence saw the leaks before. We haven't seen it like today. We already know of everything, but
But
it's
we'll go into talk about it. But I think if we want to keep talking about stuff like this, it'd be interesting. But if we want to switch it up,
Well, one thing
Go
I
for
wanted to just quick mention, I'm curious to see how Sukuna reacts to Gojo being there. I wonder if he's going to also like the flashback, or not the flashback, the fight against his woman from the past. I guess that's the most blunt way to put it. If he's only going to be using Megumin's curse technique, I wonder if he's going to use any of his, because what's gonna happen if you just whip out Malevolent Shrine when you're fighting Gojo? What happens? Like, is he gonna toy? I think he's gonna toy with him. That's what I think at the moment, is that Sukuna's gonna toy with Gojo as much as possible and get Kenjaku to leave him alone.
Yeah. I think if anything, he's actually just gonna pull out Megumi's domain expansion, like Chimera Shadow Garden, because like he also mastered Maharaga. Like he has Maharaga now, so I would love to see him just like pull that out, and then it's like 15 Maharagas all aimed at Gojo.
That's what the spine and everything was in Chimera Shadow Guard was being built. Was just more Maharaga.
Yeah, they talked about it on the Honored Ones podcast. Like a fully mastered Chimera Shadow Garden is like you have an army of Maharagas ready to kill anything.
Dude, it's just like an Attack on Titan with like the wall of Titans during the rumbling type deal.
That'd be so cool.
Oh, I'd love something like that. But no, I'm really interested to see how the fight goes. And Gojo's, don't worry, I'm the strongest, I'm gonna win mindset going against whatever Sukuna Sukuna does.
I think that they both kind of have that same. They both label themselves the honored ones.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to see like Sukuna's like maybe. Again, I want to see Gege use more binding vow type deals, because I think they're always really interesting to see. Like maybe he's like, okay, Sukuna's like, I want to try and use binding vow and only beat him with Megumin's technique, but realizes he can't or something. And potentially that means if he does do this, I would want to see actually, because we've never seen what happens when you break a binding vow. Like,
right.
Like, is it just gonna be
we were
like
about to see that?
Yeah,
we were about to see that. Like Kenjaku's like, no, you can't do this. We have you promised me something.
yeah. But like, I just because I really want, if it's just like skeletons pulling you down, like killing you, like if it's just like you losing your technique or like something like that, I would really like to see. Maybe it differs from person to person or binding vow to binding vow, but it just, I really want to see that mechanic in action and how that could affect you in a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also, this is just gonna go back to the chapter. I love how much Gojo hasn't changed. Like, he's still smack talking everyone. He punches Urarame first and then is like, oh wait, who are you?
Yeah.
Just punches him out of the way. It's so great. I would love if that's actually just what killed Urarame. Is that punch.
No, dude, we need to see the Urarame Maki. Like, we need to see the rematch.
Fight.
That would be a fun one for Maki and Yuji to fight Urarame.
That's
yeah.
Because see the Yuji, the weapon be used again. But that'd be fun also just to see her die that way. I do like that it is Gojo just like joking around again. Like, I love that, you know, he is Gojo, he's Satoru Gojo, he's the strongest, whatever. But like, we see him joking around with like two of the other strongest beings in existence, just casually. Like, he's like, oh
Yeah.
you're taking orders from this guy? Like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
I mean, he was sweating. Like, for the first time, we've seen Kenjaku actually get scared.
Yeah, there's the
Like,
the panel on 13 of him like uh-oh.
It's always so funny when like I see like even at the beginning, like Angel said, like it's the strongest of this modern era, right? Because they always try to make it seem like the modern era is worse than it was like 1,000 years ago, but then it's Gojo.
Yeah.
And
right.
Gojo is just built different. So it's just like, he's of the modern era, not of like the last era. It's like, dude, don't even try it.
Well, what if, I guess like the modern era, like what if the modern era of sorcerers is like Yuji's generation? Like, what if they mean that's the new generation of sorcerers and that's what Gojo means by they're gonna like be stronger than Gojo level type deal, or like not the Gojo level, but like the grading system is gonna need to change and be revamped.
Well, I think that those are two very different things. The modern era is talking about like Gojo's era, like this one right here in the modern context. Gojo's thing is like completely different, I think, in which he was honestly pretty true about it when he was thinking of like Yuta, Yuji, and Toto. Rip Toto.
Maybe we'll see him
that
back.
they would surpass him. Yeah. So yeah, I think that those are just two very different things, and people, that's the big thing, like while Gojo's been gone, like people are thinking like, how smart was Gojo? Like, did he actually think everything through? Because he saw, like, because you know, the last thing that he says is like, I have faith in everyone, and then like, Nobara is dead.
Right.
Megumi's gone, basically. And like Yuji, I don't know, dude. Yuji's Yuji right now. Gojo has to come up to him and tell him like, you can kill people, all right, buddy? It's not just curses.
Yeah.
So yeah, his judgment is a little foggy sometimes, is the best way to put it.
Maybe that's the training arc we get of Gojo making Yuji snap.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love to see a training match between Gojo and Yuji. And just see how that goes. Yeah.
Because I wonder, that's actually a good point to bring up, that he might just break Yuji, because we know that Gojo doesn't see people as people. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's established that he knows that he is so powerful that he is beyond human comprehension in a lot of ways. So
Mhm.
in that sense of a training arc, would he just be degrading him the entire time to try and get him to just completely
Something
wear him
similar to
down?
that.
Or
Like,
but
what
like
is
or
it?
would he try and well, that's the thing, is that what we have to figure out is, how does he view Yuji specifically? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause
Like, what does he view him as right now?
right, because at the beginning of the series, it's very much like he's views him as like a toddler.
Yeah.
He's
Well, yeah, because he kind
incapable.
of
He's
is in the
learning.
jujutsu world,
Right.
and like it's just like you're a vessel. You're meant to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay,
Maybe.
take everything I said and let's throw that away, like maybe type deal. He's like, okay, throw all that away. Let's change your mindset.
Yeah.
You're not
I
grinding
think that
hard
it is gonna
enough,
be
Yuji.
something like that. Well, like, what is it? My best way to view it is like, from us as readers, we can definitely see that like Yuji is kind of on that same path that Ghetto is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like where it's like you must value the weaker people, but you can see the consequences in like you always need to defend the weak people, and like
Right.
I'm sure that like Gojo will hopefully see that in Yuji and see like this is the same thing that brought Ghetto down and made him a rogue like a rogue jujutsu sorcerer and everything. I need to get him out of this mindset. I need to help fix the boy.
And
That's
that could
my
be
best way to think.
I think that could also make a really good story wise. That could make a really good moment to kind of also humanize Gojo too, because he's of him seeing something before and he's like, I've got to fix this.
Yeah.
Like or him realizing, hey, I've almost created a monster. Now I've got to. He's like, I fucked around with Yuji, and now I'm finding out, and I've got to fix what I found out. Or I don't know how to describe it. With the
Fix the situation that I put him in.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, so, or are we? I do.
What?
I was thinking. Okay, so, Max, I know you do not look at the fan translations, but I know you do, Nick. How did you feel about them differing from Viz's translations this week?
What is it? The fan translations can be really good sometimes. I am always kind of a ride or die sort of person when it comes to the Viz ones, because the Viz ones are official. They actually say the official things that whatever was interpreted from like the Japanese version. I know that you're talking specifically about like the ending thing of when he said like, nah, I'll win. I personally am okay with it. So like, what is it? I'll explain to Drees. The last panel of Gojo saying no was originally saying like, nah, I'd win, and it's kind of like, I know that changing what is it? Those few lines changes it a lot. Is that like it changes it from Gojo being just like straight up to like him being pompous.
Right.
But I honestly don't think it's that bad. Like the fan translations were good. This Viz one is okay.
Well, my thing is, it's similar. Like, that's the only one I'm having an issue with. And also, there's the moment where, like, Gojo makes the joke at Urame, or whatever their name is. And in Viz, she says, how dare you? But in all the fan translations, I saw you swine, and I'm like, I kind of like swine. Like, calling him, like, you swine. Like, that kind of, I like that line a little bit more in the fan translation.
Yeah, it delivers even better just flipping to the next page and
then
seeing them get decked.
Yeah, like I like that out. I like, especially with the next panel. I feel like it's a lot better with the fan. But the Viz translations were really good. I do agree with you on the final one of like I will win or versus no, kind of just like type deal. But I think it's kind of just, it is just different people translating stuff differently, and no alphabet to it, so it's harder to translate things. But I'm fine with either one. But I'm kind of on the boat with like, okay, Viz is official, I'll listen to what Viz says. But then Viz has also changed up a few lines from like their library online to a volume. I know there was one that was there was one that was changed with Maki and Maki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the line when Naoya is like, "Don't you have a heart?" And like it was translated like 4 different times.
Yeah.
Like from what it originally was, and like the official volume is how it should go. So maybe it will be different once the volume of this comes out. But
yeah, exactly. So I'm fine with it.
Else that we want to cover? Drees, do you have anything?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I have something tangential to JJK just to bring up in general, but other than that, I'm good.
Shoot it.
Yeah, so, if you've been the person who's currently listening to this podcast, perk your ears up to this statement that I'm about to make. You might have kind of figured out that, I am a film and television major at the college that I go to, and thus like to watch movies and media and like to analyze them, hence the podcast. However, if y'all want to see a movie that makes you question a lot of things, and also waste like 3 hours of your time, go watch Beau is Afraid. That's all.
Thank you, Max. I thought you were going to say go watch Blade Runner.
He's literally me thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I can talk about, but that's for like a later thing. But yeah, besides that, this was an A+ chapter. We're finally getting the stuff that we want to see. We don't want to see Sukuna fight someone that's in love with them. And I'm so happy that it's done. Even, Broken Ronin pointed out, like, hey, the writing choices are kind of meh right now, dude, but this was a good chapter.
Yep.
And along with that, we don't know our plans specifically, but we know that JJK is going to be on a break for the next 2 weeks because there's also Golden Week going on and everything.
Works out perfectly.
We don't have
it. These episodes will probably get, I think, a lot higher in quality in the next few weeks, I think, hopefully, just because my college finals are coming up in the next few weeks, so works out perfectly that JJK will be on break, but afterwards they should be a lot better because I won't be focused, I won't be multitasking. With things
and then we are questioning whether we're gonna take a break week or not. We're still figuring that out.
We'll post it on Twitter or something. We'll have it set in stone by midweek, maybe. But yeah.
Exactly. So is there anything that we want to see next chapter specifically? We should also just cover that really quickly. Like, what are our predictions?
Man, I want to see Sukuna get his shit rocked. I want to see that happen so bad.
It just happens right now.
It'd be really fun to see Sukuna, like, they both talk a lot of shit, but see Sukuna actually get fucking put in his place for once. Would be really fun to see. I'm hoping for that training arc. Maybe hinting at I guess the training arc, but like starting of Gojo coming back to everyone. And I think Yuji is going through Uncle Iroh type shit. He's going through a metamorphosis right now, and other than the people around him saying it's okay, it's not your fault, I think he's needed these past almost month in universe. He's needed Gojo's he like Gojo is somewhat of a father figure to him. I'd say he needs that back to kind of comfort him. Like maybe it's just gonna be like him hugging him and being like, after everything, he's like, it's okay, like you're fine.
Love to see him punch him.
Oh, just like tough love him. That would be good. Yeah, I think that would be a nice thing to see.
Also, side note, knock on wood, if Gojo dies, I'm suing.
Breaks all of the conventions.
Gojo gets off-screen by Sukuna, confirmed.
I would be so mad.
I hate that. I would be furious. This is how I want the next chapter to go. I want Gojo to come back, have a brief little explanation, and say, I'm gonna train you boys and girls for the 24th. And I really want to see like the barrierless domain training, and I just want the last panel of the next chapter to just be Gojo pulling an infinite void on everyone.
To kind of test them if they've been paying attention or just like
for an example, like this is what I'm going to be training you, or like even pulling Yuji aside and just going like infinite void.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's the big thing as well for Yuji, is like Yuji doesn't even know a domain, like a barrier, any form of barrier technique like simple domain or hollow wicker basket.
He's
so just like
really fucking behind. Like
Gojo is gonna speed train him.
Like everyone's in like a 3,000 level class. He's in like a 100 level class right now.
Yeah.
Type deal.
Exactly. So I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I think yeah, that's perfect. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end it off here. Thank you so much for listening, of course, to episode 27. I think 27. Thank you so much for listening to episode 27. We'll have set in stone what the plan is for the next couple weeks. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good following week, and even though we don't celebrate it, have a good golden week, I guess.
Yep.
If we do take a break week, have a good week or 2 weeks. And if not, we'll see you. I don't know. Have a good regular week. That's all I gotta say.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.